AEW pay-per-views will begin streaming on Max, beginning with AEW All Out on September 20th. However, you will still have to pay $40 to watch the show. That is, of course, though, $10 less than you would pay on other normal pay-per-view platforms. But with the Max subscription, it pretty much costs you the same as it did before, because Max is what, around $10, $14, something like that. So you're paying a discount price for the pay-per-view, but you're still paying like $50, $55 overall. So it's the same as you pay on a pay-per-view platform for sure. But with the Max subscription, it pretty much costs you the same. But I would obviously prefer if they did what WWE did a lot of the years on Peacock, and you get these events free with your subscription. And I'm hopefully AEW can eventually do that. But I also understand it because AEW is still a very young company that needs to make money to survive. WWE kind of, has these great billion-dollar contracts and stuff like that. And while AEW, I think, is doing okay, they still need to get that extra little bit of revenue when they can. So right now, I'm not too upset about it. It's still better than paying for WWE maybe now. In order to watch WWE now, you got to get like Netflix, you got to get cable for USA, you got to get the new ESPN app and all that good stuff. So it may be actually cheaper to watch AEW television now all year round than it is to watch WWE's. So yeah. But there you go. Another streaming option to catch AEW pay-per-views on. But also of note, along with this HBO Max announcement, came the fact that AEW announced that All Out will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the afternoon on September 20th, likely in an effort to avoid going head-to-head with WWE's WrestlePalooza, unless WWE changes their times again and just to be a jerk about it, But there are also reports that state that the success of Forbidden Door being on in the afternoon in the States when it was in London also contributed to the decision to put All Out at an earlier time at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central. So, yeah, I mean, in that regard, it makes some sense. If they got some good pay-per-view buy rights being it was on in the afternoon, I totally understand the decision. Now, obviously, it's going to make it look like AEW is trying to avoid WWE, and I guarantee you that's probably what they're trying to do. AEW set All Out. WWE then come over and did try to compete with them. And now AEW is like, well, okay, we can still drop it early in the day. That way there's no head-to-head. It's still earning a day All Out, and then you got WrestlePalooza at night. So, and for wrestling fans, I think that's great. I have no problem if they want to go head-to-head like we talked about a couple weeks ago here on the podcast. It's just competition at this point. And honestly, I feel like if AEW is going to fail, it's going to be because of what AEW is doing, not what WWE. AEW is now at a place, I believe, that AEW can sustain itself without worrying about WWE's competition, which is why I don't understand why WWE is continuing to do this too. WWE, I feel like, should probably focus on themselves more. A lot of AEW fans say, oh, AEW needs to focus on themselves, stop talking about WWE. Well, I say the same thing right back to WWE. If you don't view AEW as competition, you need to be focusing on yourself and focusing on your product. And I think if you both do that, I think both companies have plenty of room to be successful in the wrestling market. So I'm looking forward to seeing this happen, and I'm hoping that the wars just doesn't get out of control, because it's really not needed these days. It's not the 90s anymore. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but when it comes to actual storylines and stuff in AEW, we got a cryptic message during a hologram or following a hologram match on Collision last week, kind of teasing a clone, or Elclone, Elclon, without the E. So yeah, it's got a lot of people speculating who this masked figure here is. It looks like it's going to be like an evil version of Hologram, kind of like his evil twin type situation, which we've seen many times done in the past, like Sin Cara's and WWE have done that sort of thing. And I believe that it turns out it's going to be none other than, I believe, Ares, I think that's how you say his name, who is Hologram's longtime rival and former tag team partner down in AAA in Mexico. So yeah, he's also known as the King of Strange Style, which obviously Shinsuke Nakamura is known as the King of Strong Style and New Japan Pro Wrestling and WWE. The King of Strange Style, though, looks like he is coming to AEW potentially to continue his long rivaled feud with the Hologram here. And of course, he's had a few different looks here, as he is here with the face paint on, and I believe that's Hologram there on the left. When he was known as a different name in AAA, I think he was known as Aramis. Is that what his name was? Aramis and Ares in AAA Mexico. So yeah, but this is kind of another look at El Clone, the King of Strange Style, which you can see where the strange parts come from here. But I think this could add a whole different level of the character to like a hologram evil clone. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about this wrestler or the backstories between him and Hologram, but I'm definitely looking forward to kind of maybe seeing them doing something a little different with Hologram. They've got him on this, unbeaten streak, but I like to see them kind of like throw a little wrinkle in there and kind of give some competition to Hologram that maybe he didn't quite see coming now that he got out of the Mexico days and came up to AEW. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And of course, CMLL and everybody's still involved with AEW stuff too. So, but yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see this debut here, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. Also, we got the return of Riho this week, the former AEW Women's World Champion. She kind of got involved at the end of a Mercedes Moné match, kind of looked at her TNT Championship and looked like she wanted to maybe take that title from Mercedes Moné. Remember, Riho once beat Nyla Rose as well for the AEW Women's World Championship. So she's a worthy competitor for Mercedes Moné, and this is a fresh matchup. Now, do I think Riho is going to take the TBS Championship for Mercedes Moné at AEW All Out in Toronto? Probably not. It sounds to me like Mercedes Moné is probably going to be the TBS champion probably until, she's like 10 belts Moné or something like that. And then maybe she starts dropping some of these titles I've never heard of. But these titles are getting recognition on a bigger stage. So in that regard, it's doing these titles and these companies so it's giving them some exposure with Mercedes Moné. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But I expect a fun match with Riho and Mercedes. Both ladies are very talented. I think it could be a lot of fun at All Out, which will go very well with the FTR versus CNC, Cage, and Cope on that show as well. So that's 2 matches, and we're about to talk about a third that was added to AEW All Out, and that's, of course, the Hurt Syndicate, and they'll be facing Ricochet and Guerrillas of Destiny, or Gates of Agony. I'm sorry, Gorilla, that's a totally different thing. But Gates of Agony at All Out. So the trios match between these two teams. Now, interestingly enough, it appears it's going to be MVP teaming up with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin against Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. So I kind of speculated last week here on the channel that maybe we would finally see Cedric Alexander, the former Hurt Business wrestler who from WWE, who was with Bobby and Shelton over there with MVP managing. Maybe he would step in as the third guy here for the Hurt Syndicate. But as of right now, it's MVP. But who knows? Maybe we get to AEW All Out, and maybe we'll actually see Shelton or Cedric Alexander as well join the group that has been long rumored. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, I think this could be a lot of fun, a fun 6-man tag. And both of these teams, in my opinion, could challenge for the AEW Trios Championships as well against the Ops. So I'd love to watch that. That'd be a fight. Or hell, throw all 9 guys in the ring just to make it a 3-way match between all these 3-man teams. So that could be a lot of fun as well. So I'm looking forward to maybe seeing some of that and finding out some more of this card on AEW All Out. The last thing I wanted to talk about, of course, on Dynamite, we had a face-to-face of Mark Briscoe and Konosuke Takeshita, where it was revealed that it was kind of piggybacking off of our conversation last week, where we talked about who would be the next top babyface in AEW to step up in the face of all these injuries to like Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Swerve Strickland and Adam Cole. And we talked about Mark Briscoe and Konosuke Takeshita both, along with Kyle Fletcher and a slew of others, including Orange Cassidy. But Mark Briscoe, it was announced that if he wants to face TNT champion Kyle Fletcher, he has to get by Konosuke Takeshita. So that match will officially be happening on AEW Collision this Saturday night on September 6th. So yeah, if he wins, he gets a TNT championship match against Kyle Fletcher. So, and I'm not gonna lie, this could be a fun match. And like I said last week, they've really been pushing Mark Briscoe as a top babyface in AEW. I didn't personally consider it because I kind of always view him just as his tag team guy. But for the most part, I think it could very well work for him being a top singles star. And I'd love to see him maybe win the AEW World Championship one day. He was the Ring of Honor World Champion not too long ago. And of course, Konosuke Takeshita just won the G1 Climax tournament in New Japan. So I think it makes a lot of sense to kind of continue to build Mark Briscoe up. I'll be interested to see how they book the finish of this match. You don't want to, of course, Takeshita can take a loss if he needs to, but Mark definitely needs to get this win, I think, to further the storyline. Or we'll have to see how it goes. Maybe somebody else gets involved and maybe ends up being a tag against Fletcher and Konosuke down the line. I don't know what they're going to be doing. But sounds like they're, again, kind of cooking something here for AEW All Out on September 20th. September 20th looks like it's going to be a big, fun weekend for professional wrestling. Whether you're a fan of AEW or you're a fan of WWE, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch WrestlePalooza and All Out on the same day. So I always just say, just love pro wrestling. Just watch pro wrestling. Thank you for checking out this clip from the Dragon's Den podcast. If you like what you saw here, please consider checking out our full podcast every single Friday night here on the channel, live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Rumble. And until our next video, guys, take care, and God bless.